Alright guys, so the first big firmware updates are now available for the Nexus adapter, controller and manager. And in the following few minutes I will show you how to install those and what you can expect from these new firmware versions. As always, the download links for each update can of course be found in the video description. First off, we have 4 new firmware versions to discuss. 2 official firmware releases, which are for the Nexus adapter and controller, and then 2 beta firmware releases for the manager and controller. Beta releases are basically add-ons which introduce new changes on top of an official firmware. These changes usually aren't significant enough to be released as an official firmware. But over time, several beta firmware updates are bundled and then released as an official firmware. Let's look at the official adapter firmware first. The installation instructions and download links for PC and Mac can be found at the bottom of the post. And the changelog for this update can be found at the top. The most important change is the following one, and it's a primary reason for why you should update your adapter. Flash memories will only work well for a certain amount of writing cycles, which basically equals their lifetime. The more writing cycles you have, the faster your flash memory will stop working. Thanks to the new firmware update, the amount of writing cycles will be greatly reduced, which increases the lifetime of your Nexus. The second change is about the brightness of the adapter LED, which will now be lowered to make it less distracting. For the Nexus controller, we also have an official update, and it contains a variety of decent changes. But first, about the installation steps and download links. Just like with the adapter, you can find those at the bottom of this post. Now let's scroll up to take a closer look at the changelog. Just like with the adapter, the first and biggest change is the increase of the flash memory lifetime. The second change are improvements to the manager stability. The manager should now no longer randomly disconnect from your controller. The next change is about a fix that solves a motion binding issue. In prior firmware versions, the engage motion activation may have not worked anymore when bound to buttons other than the triggers. For Call of Duty players, the next change is also really big. There was a bug when using the aim and fire activation that prevented your Nexus from using an aim down sights delay. As a result, you experienced a short but annoying sensitivity spike when going into the aim down sights mode. The last 2 changes are about a fix for the ballistic curves and a rework of the D-pad registration. Diagonal D-pad inputs are now finally possible again, so playing games which rely on diagonal D-pad inputs will now no longer be a problem anymore. Now let's look at the beta updates. These 2 include all features that I just mentioned, plus a few more on top. The first beta firmware is for the Nexus controller. The first change is a really amazing one because it adds a new motion activation. It is called motion pause and allows you to briefly stop motion while pressing a button of your choice. This is perfect for players who prefer to toggle motion or have it active at all times. I will go into more detail on that in my motion activation tutorial. The second change is about the rest mode of your Nexus. Previously, the controller would shut down when no motion input has been detected for more than 10 minutes. Since not everyone is using motion aiming, this has now been extended to stick and trigger inputs as well. The last firmware I want to present today is another beta update, and it's for the Nexus Manager. The first change is about the addition of the new motion activation. If you wish to use this feature, then please make sure to use both new firmware updates. The other 2 changes are about the improved wireless connection and a bug fix when assigning binding roles to the back buttons. Previous firmware versions had the problem that you could only bind one radial role to the back buttons. Any additional radial bind did not work. This is a problem for games such as Apex Legends, which uses lots of radial menus. But thanks to the new beta firmware, this will now no longer be an issue. At last, I would like to mention that if you enjoy the new XIM firmware, or if you happen to find anything that doesn't work as it should, then please share your feedback in the XIM forum. Your feedback is critical to make your XIM better and better with each update. So guys, if you enjoyed the video, hit the like button or maybe even subscribe to this channel to not miss out on any of the upcoming videos. Also, contrary to popular belief, this channel is not an official XIM channel. I run this channel in my free time to bring you guys the latest XIM news and tricks. So if you want to support what I do, then maybe consider to join the YouTube channel membership. Channel members usually get around 1 to 4 weeks of early access to all new videos. Plus, we also have a nice little Discord to discuss XIM settings and other stuff. But that's about it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching, and I will maybe see you in the next one.